All right, so here we are. Welcome to the edition of Money Moves. I'm here to pick up somebody else on our drive around talking about money. And let's see who we are picking up this afternoon. I see a little glimpse of her, and doesn't she look gorgeous? If this is the person I'm picking up, boy, she looks gorgeous today. Her dress is amazing. Amazing. Hello.
Hi. All right.
Hi.
Hello.
How are you?
I am super.
I was just saying that if this is the person I'm picking up, they look amazing.
Thank you.
And here you are looking amazing. It's so
so
good
much.
to see you. How
Good to
are
see
you,
you.
Norina?
I am super.
So
How are you?
I'm good. I'm all right. So for those that don't know Norina, I have known Norina for many years. And you know, I think you're better off telling this story than I am. But here are some key takeaways for people before you tell this story. So, Norina, first of all, is closely associated with young women. She inspires young women. She helps young women. And secondly, she is, of all the young, I say young, but not that young. But for all the young people that I know, you are the person that we all look to for those of us who are getting married because of how long you've been married.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, so
Oh, that's
now
a very-
you tell your story. Let's go. Tell your story better than I am.
That's a very long time.
And tell your story
did
better
you
than
have
I
to
am.
go to that one?
I'm so sorry.
No, it's fine. So, yes, Cooper's Young Women's Network.
Yes.
If we're talking about the young women, an organization for young women, and it's really about them finding their self-worth, their capabilities, and their purpose. We talk about this all the time with the girls. Like Dr. Miles Monroe said it very nicely. He said, "If purpose is not known, abuse is inevitable." So.
It's gonna be a good drive.
You know, so those are the things that we speak about at Cooper. Is just to, I personally envision a society where young women have a clear understanding of who they are and their self-worth and their capabilities and their purpose, for them to understand that ability, capability, having the right attitude does not favor any gender. You just need to show up as a woman, but a woman who's capable. So those are the conversations, some of the conversations we have at Coupes. And you threw in yes, I've been married for many years.
And I didn't actually know this until which coffee and jazz did I go to where you were at? And Esther was saying
when she was
the music video.
The music video,
the
yes,
music video. And
yes.
she's the one who said, like, how long? And I was like, wait a minute. I have known this woman for such a long time. I didn't know this.
Yeah, so it's 19 years.
Wow.
November makes it 20 years.
Wow.
Yeah, 20 whole years. Yeah.
Can I ask a most random question as somebody who's getting married soon? What's the when you look back at year 1 of your marriage to year 19, what's changed? Like, obviously the world has changed. I mean, nowadays you've got smartphones, but what's changed for you personally in these 19 years?
It's the growth for me personally and for him as well.
Yeah.
And we must understand that year 1 we are both young and it's exciting and a lot of things are happening in your life. But year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5, you're both discovering yourselves and you're growing. So can you imagine, I'm growing, he's growing. So therefore there'll be different stages in our lives where now we have to understand that at his stage, at my stage, we're both grown. And therefore the way we're going to deal with issues and the way we're going to relate to one another is obviously going to be at a different level. So if you're going into a marriage like you are, please remember, one thing that has taught me is being able to understand or appreciate the differences in, or rather the diversity in the human species. And what I mean by that is I need to understand that he is different and I am different. And being different, as we all know, does not make anyone inferior. It's just that we're just different. But what is important is for me to understand that he's as much human as I am, and therefore he's like to make mistakes, and therefore I will not put him on a pedestal, because if I put him high up and if he falls, I'm just like, hey, what is this? What's going on? So those are one of the things that have really helped me along the way. Just being able to listen. This guy is human, and so am I. He's likely to make mistakes. And one thing that marriage teaches you, it teaches you to be quite forgiving.
Is this why? And I actually wondered. So I was listening to you somewhere else, and you were talking about songs that get you moving in one way or the other. Is this why we've got this song today? This is Church Elder by PK. Is this why? Because like you're an elder now. Yeah, they're like, is that where this song comes from, and or is there a different story?
This one, first of all, I love, I'm one of those like different genres of music.
Yeah.
I flow in everything, and I love it. But Pique, for me, he had depth in his songs,
Yeah.
and here he was simply talking about, by church older, and also just for you not to be like, just be transparent. In your dealings with everything. So he's talking about the church elder and saying about church elder. He used to hide things. And then he talks about this other gentleman who goes to a conference and then he's busy telling people that you're in inch paper, I don't smoke. And then the cigarette comes out of his pocket. So better be transparent. Yeah. So this one is more about transparency. And I love it.
And so here I thought, because the name is called, church elder, I just figured, Norina has elevated status-wise.
Because I've
she's
gone
now
to
an elder.
By elder and a mayo. And
So from now on, I'm just going to call you by elder.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. So here's another thing about you that you haven't talked about is your background in finance. You were a banker.
Yes, for a very long time. But the way, and this is in fact some of these conversations I have with the girls about being able to understand who you are and how you flow and what your gifting is. So when I started off studying accounting, by the way. But along the way, when I had an opportunity to go in front of a camera and a few conversations with a few people, I realized accounting is not really my forte. And that's how I switched and went into marketing and communications. But when you talk about being a banker, then I was given an opportunity to work for a financial institution. And that's how my banking career began. So I started off in investment services. I think that is where, when we talk about investments, that's where really it all started for me, being able to appreciate investments. And that's how I grew in the banking sector. So, but yeah.
And you talk to, for many of your girls, and I'll keep saying girls, but I know that you don't just, you transcend just girls.
Yeah.
I mean, here I am, a guy. You transcend to me as well, and everyone else.
Yeah.
So the background that you have in finance and investment, particularly investments, does that help in the many conversations that you have with young people, particularly girls? And here's when I talk investment nowadays, there is one vehicle of investment that everyone is kind of gravitating towards, and this is village banking.
Village banking, yes, yes.
So do you have those conversations with the girls to say village banking?
Well, we not necessarily village banking. We talk about village banking, but it's about understanding how to manage finances, just being money smart. Really, those are conversations that we have with the girls. It's very important for anyone, not just a young woman, for anyone to understand how to manage money, how to handle money, and how to invest. And when you talk about so some of the, like I said, I was introduced to, my first banking job was in investment services, and we were launching a relatively new product on the market, and it was a money market funds. So it was exciting, and learning. And when I talk about investments, for me that was my very first, like, this is my first investment apart from a savings account. It's like investments in money markets, so it was purely unit trust. And then over time you move into property, and then we talk about village banking. So you talk to the girls about the different investment vehicles that they can utilize.
But what is it about village banking? Yes, because
I like village banking.
Everyone is doing village banking.
I love village
She
banking.
was trying to explain to me, village banking.
So really,
and it still confuses me.
No, it's a beautiful thing. So the way it's women get together.
Yeah.
Perhaps, I don't know, for some reason I don't know whether men are really doing it.
So now, in the office, men are also. But I know that it began with women.
With the women, yeah. So it's about pulling money together as women, putting money together, and it's to be able to support one another in terms of businesses. And in fact, it goes beyond businesses. If I'm looking for money, I have a pool of funds with these women that I trust. Because for me, for Village Bank, but first, actually, let me tell you, at first I was a little bit skeptical, because there are times when you hear about stories about people, this one ran off with this. But one key thing, and this is what I tell the girls, one key thing about, if you can find women and people that you can trust, because it's all about trust. So you put money together and you're able to get that money at really, I call it cheap money because even if it's the interest rate, it's very minimal. But the idea is to be able to pull this money for saving purposes and also for you to have access to finance and cheap financing. And that is why there's beauty in village banking, because not only do you don't just put money together, you sit, you have conversations, you get to advise one another. Are there any other business opportunities that you can be looking at because you're sitting with this a pool of money? So for me, it's a lifesaver.
Yeah, because like
It's a lifesaver because if you're stuck, for instance, you've got a pool of money that you can go to, and if you're looking to invest in your business, there's money that you can actually go to.
But how do you? Okay, so here's I always like to say that I'm relatively smart, but I still get confused around
Really?
the concept of village banking. So if you're somebody who is not at the, because I mean there's a couple of things. Number one, when you talk about investment, there will be a lot of people who may not, or they might think that there's a certain level of investment that you're talking about. So first of all, I'm assuming anyone can village bank.
Yeah,
so it's
anyone
a
can
trader, market, anyone can.
Anyone can village bank. So it's all about you agree. So depending on can I use the word levels?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Depending on the level. So you will say perhaps we're going to be putting away a minimum of 50 kwacha a month. That's your minimum, and your maximum is maybe 500. So we'll call them shares. So it'll be 10 shares. So a minimum of. So that makes it easier to cap the amount of money that you can put in, and also for borrowing purposes. Okay, so you can say others would be saying 50 kwacha a month, others is 100 kwacha a month, others is 1,000, others go up to 10,000, others go up to 50,000 kwacha. So it's really up to the individuals on the level and what is I won't say would acceptable, what is affordable,
What works for them.
what works for them, yeah, for the group.
Okay, so if let's take it down to the lowest level, and then we come up. Of what benefit is it to them? Because that's like when we talk.
So you know what it is. So not because let's say you're putting away 100 kwacha a month, so it's going to be over 12 months, for instance, because it's usually annual, eh? So 12 months. So you're guaranteed 1,200 kwacha. However, remember the money that we're putting in also. That when somebody borrows, they borrow at a certain percent, rather a certain percentage. So then you're not actually going to go out with 1,200 kwacha. There will be interest added because other people were also borrowing in the pool. So you actually get much more.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how does it? Because I know that there'll be a lot of people who will wonder. Okay, so how does it benefit us? Why should I even go this direction?
I'm saving, number one, because like I said, if we're looking at levels, so I'm using the barest minimum, 100 kwacha a month. You're going 1,000 kwacha a month. You know that you're going to have 12,000 kwacha plus interest at the end of the year. Isn't that wonderful? But not only will you just save that amount that you've been putting in, you're also going to have interest that you would have accrued, because it's a pool of funds that people now are borrowing. And interest is added to it. So for me, number one, it's the biggest one for me is you are saving. And then after you save, you can also have access to that money, especially for you if you're looking to expand your business, you want to buy products, you want to do, or you just need money at that point. You've got access to cheap finance.
It's probably an unfair question, but I'm going to ask it anyway.
Okay.
Because the whole idea of saving is, and people, and this is the thing. First of all, people always say that it's really difficult to save money because for many people they're living hand to mouth. And so if we're going to take for example the lowest value that you've attached, say 100 kwacha, the guys who are saving 100 kwacha might be thinking, I can use this 100 kwacha for something else. Right? So how do you convince them to, number one, because again, village banking is about long term, and this is the thing that most people don't realize, that there's a very long term benefit
Yes,
to
there
village
is.
banking.
Like you say, I mean, I can use this 100 kwacha for something else. What is it that you're going to use it for something else? What is it? What is it going to be? And when we talk about investments or saving anything, it's about understanding, right, I'm going to be putting money away. What am I using it for? That makes it easier for you to put money away at any time if you have a goal for that money. So if you're just going to say, I just want to save, but what are you saving it for? If you don't have a reason, you don't have a goal for that saving, then you're going to be panicking because you're like, I would have done this with this money, I would have done this. What is important for you from the very beginning is have a goal. Why are you saving? The why has to be very clear, and it makes it easier. Then you won't be thinking about, no, I should have used this money for something else. Everybody must save, and it doesn't matter how much, how little, or how big. What is important, you know that at the end of the year, not only will you acquire or accrue, in fact, acquire the money that you've just put in, but you'd have accrued interest at the end of it all.
Is that what you've done? I mean, have you seen
The benefit of it?
Yeah, no,
Yes.
because here's my thing. So have you seen, first of all, before you started village banking and where you are today, have you seen that this has helped you
Yes.
more than before?
Yes.
And what ways are those?
For me, not only the saving part,
Yeah.
but also, like I told you, the access to finance. Literally, life happens, eh? You know,
Yeah, true.
life happens, and there'll come a point where, like, you know, I need to have access to money because I need to develop this, or I need to finish off this project. And for me, my village banking group has really worked very well. Yeah, because then I was like, all right, guys, at the end of this month, this is how much I will need. And then we plan towards it. So for me, it has worked very well because it's been a lifesaver. I call it a lifesaver. And also now, if you realize that before it used to be very difficult to handle money, because you'll be sitting and there'll be huge pools, rather a pool of fund. But now there are a few financial institutions who are providing that sort of service where you make sure that your money is safe. So for me, Luchi, it has been a lifesaver.
Yeah, because I mean, that's the thing. We're talking about money being safe.
Yeah.
People worry. You said at the beginning how you were a bit.
Yeah, no, I was. I was just like,
And because there's so many of these, you close your eyes, throw a stone, it'll land at somebody who is village banking. Heck, they may even be village banking administrator. How do you know that your money is safe?
So now, like I said, they are. Number one for me, I don't know. Not even I won't say I don't know, but what is key for everybody is, you know, there has to be trust.
Yeah.
Because it is only when you trust people that you can do business with them. You know that it's only when you can trust them. So there has to be that element of trust. Like, if this is a group of women who are at a certain level, and this is what we're going to do. Number one for me is trust. But also, like I said, there are now financial institutions that are providing accounts for village banking, and then you've got signatories on that account, so it becomes easier and transparent, and for transparent purposes. So yeah, it is pretty safe now.
Okay, so safety guaranteed.
Yeah.
What do you look for? If I'm out here thinking, you know what, this is it, I'm jumping in. I'm jumping into this bandwagon that is village banking. What am I looking for? Do I first of all go in and say, this is how I am able... Oh, wait. Do I go in and say to myself, okay, fine, what do I want to achieve?
Yes.
Right?
That's very important, Luchi.
Yeah.
Before you start any investment journey, any savings journey, what do you want out of it? Because for as long as you don't define your why, it will be very difficult for you to be rooted in that same village banking or whatever investment vehicle that you want to use. So number one, why are you doing it? Go on.
To make money.
Yes, there we go.
Well, I mean, what else is there?
But also to build relationships and friendship,
build relationships and friendships.
Women were all about
Okay,
that.
yeah, okay, I get it. I get it. I get it now.
Yeah.
So have you built those relationships?
Oh yes.
Yeah?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So it's like a network. It's like another way
It's
of
a
networking.
network, and also just being able to push one another and the business that one is doing. We talk about, we celebrate, how can we better this, guys? We've got this, our colleague is doing this. How do we push this agenda forward? For me, it's been the village banking group I'm with right now. I love them.
Let's play some music. So
I love them.
there was PK Chala, right? And I'm also told that you like this new Abel song.
Imperfect.
Yes.
Yay.
What is it about Imperfect that you like?
I'm old school.
Okay.
That's number one.
You have an old school soul about yourself.
Too much.
Okay.
Too much.
Is there a particular line that this hits where you're like, okay?
You wanna know?
Yeah, I do. I want to know everything.
I'll tell you what. When
because when I first heard this song,
Yeah.
I meant to call him and tell him that you finally done something that is very soulful.
it was, I called him.
Yeah.
The first time I heard it, it was on the 12th of February. I remember that day very clearly. I was coming from McKinney.
Yeah.
And I said, let me listen to this. Oh my goodness. I called him. I said, Ebo, this is off the hook. This is amazing. It is soulful. It took me back to the...
What? I know what it is. It took you back to being in love, didn't it?
Yes.
Am I right? Yeah. Yes.
It did. It's just very rich, and for me, it's about, and even the message in there. Yeah, just in two imperfect people. You know, you can never find perfection at all. It's like I said earlier, being able to understand that this person is different, this person will not be perfect. But here we are, and the only one who can actually perfect you is God. So if you can have a trio in there, you're good to go, and especially you was getting into marriage.
I wonder as well, just because here's what it's funny when I think about it now.
Yeah.
People don't put God. We put God in our relationships, right? But we don't put God when it comes to investment.
And it's amazing. No, it's amazing,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Like
But,
it's just clicked to me now that doesn't happen.
we will put, we decide, like, okay, I can manage, but here you can. But God says, no, you have to involve me in every
Everything.
part of your life. Because then even when you're making decisions, if you don't have him in there, how then do you go back? But because like I wasn't there, you did not involve me from the get-go. So if we can manage that, it will be a beautiful thing. Like he says, just in all things. It doesn't say some things. He says in all things.
In all things.
Yeah.
Put me first.
Put me first.
I like that.
Put me there.
Can I say my favorite part of this song is here. This chorus. I'm just
No,
I love
one.
this.
This one is amazing.
Even when the piano comes in, where it's just the piano and the instrumentation. Oh,
no,
it takes me places.
Yeah, no, it's beautiful, beautiful.
So, as I get ready to drop you off, I really want you to talk about how, for those young people who are watching Money Moves today, who will first of all have never experienced investment, and
That's
particularly
right,
investment from a village banking perspective, for those that think that the only people who can go into village banking is those people who have a lot of money.
That's right.
Speak to them about how, regardless of what it is,
Yes.
whatever small amount that you can put in can grow. Yeah.
Number one, I won't say number one. Let me just speak.
Yeah.
So you're never too young, and you're never too old to start saving. You're never too young.
Do you remember when you started saving?
Seriously?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, and when I sit back today, we had very few conversations regarding money, regarding a lot of things. And I think perhaps that is why I'm very passionate about what I do with the young, to be able to provide that space and to speak to them on different levels. Because nobody really talked to me about investments and savings until I joined the bank. So you'll have a savings account, but not much more than that.
Yeah.
So my interaction with investments was when I joined a bank, and that was about 25, when I was 25, a 25-year-old, but which was a good thing. So if you're sitting there and you're 18 and you're 17, you're 23, you're never too young. And don't ever think that you have to have millions of kwacha for you to start investing. Even putting money away, it doesn't matter. Start with what you have. Don't look at the millions. And people tend to think, no, until I have. What if you don't have that 1 million kwacha to put away? If you can't, Bible's very clear again, you can't be trusted with little.
Yeah.
You can't be trusted with much. So with whatever you have, start now. Don't overthink it. If it's going to be 50 kwacha a month, go ahead and put it away. If it's going to be 100 kwacha, whatever it is. In fact, you know what? Forget the money. It's the principle and the discipline behind it. If you can do that, then you'll be okay.
The principle.
And the discipline behind it.
Because that's the hardest thing.
Yes.
It's like everyone I've talked to, on Money Moves has said the same thing to me. They've all said that you've got to be disciplined.
You have to.
And discipline is hard, especially in today's society. Oh my God, it is so hard to be disciplined with money. So hard. So how do you do it?
Decisions that you make.
Okay.
For me, it's all about decisions.
Because
I can speak
here's
to
the
you.
thing. I say this before I drop you off. A lot of people say, they make it sound like it's so easy, but it's not.
No, it's not. And I won't say here and say it's easy to put away money, but you have to decide that this is what you're going to do. And it's a resolve to do it. Yeah.
It's a resolve.
Yeah.
A resolve to do it. I like that line.
Yeah.
Listen, thank you, Narina. Thank you so much. It's been so good to see you.
Are we done?
Yeah, you're about to head over to your next meeting. It hasn't been the shortest. I think that this may well be the busiest drive through the madness that is afternoon traffic. But listen, thank you so much for talking to us on Money Moves.
It's been an
Thank you
absolute
very
pleasure.
much.
I really enjoyed it. I really, really did.
I shall see you soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very, very soon.
Say hi to the Cooper girls.
I will.
Yeah.
I will. Lots of conversations, and it's just good to start seeing them now. Now we've had a few physical meetings, so I'm really excited.
Probably this.
Thank
We've
you.
almost won that battle.
Yeah. Almost
Almost done.
Yeah.
Listen, thank you so much.
Thank you. And
Thank you.
See you soon.
I'll see you soon. You take
Bye-bye.
care. Enjoy your afternoon.
I will.
Yeah.
I will.
Oh, let me open for you. Wait, where is it? There you
there
go.
we go.
That, ladies and gentlemen, was Norina Chitebe. I've known her for a very long time. When you see her, you don't actually realize just how old she is. But that's a story for another day. So yeah, that's Norina talking to us on Money Moves, talking about the value. I think that's the best way to put it. Talking about the value of village banking. A lot of people are going into village banking. They may not necessarily know why they're going into village banking. So as Norina mentioned, you've got to go in with a plan. That's the first thing. Go in with a plan and try and understand why it is that you've decided to village bank. That's for starters. And secondly, invest that money, because village banking is an investment, right? But even after you get the returns at the end of the year, invest that money in something else, whether it's invested back into village banking. That way you're able to grow this portfolio of money and make it move for you. So those are the key takeaways, I think, from my drive with Norina on Money Moves. Listen, I hope you enjoyed yourselves. I hope you enjoyed and learned some very important lessons. We will speak to you in the next episode of Money Moves. Have a wonderful day. And remember, keep making your money move.